Hi there, this is Charles May, and this is my forum post for Contemporary Context for the Contemporary Context Forum for Hebrew Bible 2 online at Chicago Theological Seminary. I want to apologize before I get into the meat of my recording if I tend to ramble and go on off on tangents. I'm dealing with a rather nasty case of food poisoning, and I literally barely have enough strength to type. Actually, I don't think I have the strength to type, and I barely have the power to speak. So, just bear with me as I try and get these posts done. So, there are a few books throughout human history that have been interpreted and elevated the way that the Bible has. For centuries, or even millennia, the meaning of the Bible has been left to the hands and in the minds of the educated clerical elite. Um, it is only fairly recently, within the last 500-600 years or so, that the common man has gotten an opportunity to look at the words of the Bible and figure out what they mean for himself. And unfortunately, a lot of people, even in today's world, still rely heavily on a clerical person of authority to tell them what the Bible means. A relatively new development in lay biblical issues, as opposed to those of us who study theology or clerical biblical issues, is the concept of biblical inerrancy and biblical infallibility. You get a lot of people in this world who believe the Bible to be inerrant, factual, every word is true, every word coming from the source. There may even be people in this class who take that point of view. And this post in no way, shape, or form is trying to denigrate your perspective, but we're talking about contemporary contexts. So that is one of the contemporary contexts through which we must look at the Bible, is through the lens of infallibility and inerrancy, and the people who cling to that lens. Um, it is lenses like that that oftentimes cause a lot of hardship, or can cause a lot of hardship, because no matter what the topic, no matter what the issue being discussed, you will invariably get someone saying, well, the Bible says X, Y, Z, what have you. And they add that phrase, but the Bible says, in order to give whatever is going to follow an air of authority that it may not ordinarily have otherwise. Um, so when you have a person of African American extraction reading the passage of, the Bible says to be a good slave and live in fear and trembling to your worldly masters, you read that a lot differently, because especially if you take the Bible from a literary point of view, you are probably angry at that is in there. Women would be probably anyway. I guess I shouldn't make broad generalizations, but the statements in some of the epistles. Now I know that most of what I'm going to be quoting and talking about here is New Testament, but it works for the Old Testament too, or the Hebrew Bible too. So women having passages from Paul's epistles pointed out to them as reasons why they should not seek leadership in churches. And because the people that they surround themselves with believe in the literal inerrancy of the Bible. Um, they believe themselves to be less than the true and full embodiment of the divine that they are. Um, you know, People regularly throw Leviticus 18:22 out when trying to condemn people who are homosexual, who are gay and lesbian and bisexual and transgendered. They point to these archaic laws that they don't follow themselves, but because it's in the Bible, because the Bible says, they they point to these authorities to justify their point of view. So I guess that's the context, the contemporary context that I try to look through. Not because I am a biblical literalist, but because I feel the need to, if I am approached by a biblical literalist, that I need to understand where they're coming from. So that is my contemporary context. So I will talk to everyone later. I hope I didn't ramble and that I'm coherent. And I will see everyone else online. I will talk to you later.